Hi guys, so today I'll be talking about the new DS7. I'll be talking about key points about this car, what I like about this car, what I don't like about it. In this video, I'll be talking about the DS7. This is the DS performance line, which means that it has some amazing features on it that make it such an amazing car. Now, I'll be talking about all the different features available in this car, what makes it different, what makes Peugeot and Citroën different in terms of bringing out this car compared to a normal Peugeot that you can probably think of in your head. Now, I'll be talking about the infotainment system that DS7 have. I'll be talking about the design of the car. I'll be talking about how the car feels in general, to be honest. What I personally think of it, how it feels to drive. Now, I'm currently sat in the new DS7. It is an absolutely amazing car. It feels good, it looks good. It looks prestige to me, feels prestige to me, and I have to tell you, it feels amazing. I mean, it's so hard to believe that Peugeot and Citroën have come up with such a brilliant and fascinating car that feels good and that can challenge with people like Audi and Range Rover. Now, don't get me wrong, this car isn't as good as a Range Rover or an Audi Q5. However, it is getting there. It is getting there and it's getting really close to it, okay? Now, they do a couple of versions of this car. They do their 1.6 turbo petrols and they do the 2-litre diesel. Now, this version is the 1.6 petrol. And you feel like the 1.6 petrol is a bit slow to pick up speed and a bit lazy. However, in sports mode on the 1.6 petrol, it kind of uses the revs a bit more to pick up speed quite quicker. But I think on the 2-litre diesels probably a bit faster and it picks up speed a bit quicker than this one here. Now, if you look at this car, it looks like something Lamborghini have made. I mean, look at the gear stick. This is an automatic. The way the gear stick has been made, the way the dials are down here, and the way the screen is just covering the whole middle just makes it look so good. Now, another thing I like about this interior is the way the dash feels. Now, the dash is suede, and it feels so nice. It feels so nice to touch, and it makes it feel like a premium car. Now, I love the dash. I love the way the dash is made from suede, which makes it really nice to touch, and therefore premium. It makes it feel like a premium brand. This suede feeling makes it feel like you're driving a really luxury car, and I like that. Now, this is leather. It feels really nice. You obviously got the suede bits in there. You got suede bits in here. You've got suede right in here. You've got suede covering this bit here, this pocket. You got suede right in here. You got suede all over here. Suede, which feels so nice. We got really nice big door bins. However, we've gone back to plasticky, really cheap doors, which doesn't really suit with the premium luxury look. Now, if you want to roll the windows down, there aren't any buttons here, and I find that really nice. It makes it really different, and it makes it so unique from other cars. Now, if you want to roll the windows down, the buttons are right here, which makes it so different. So here, so if I click the button here, and that opens the window, and then it shuts it again through here. Let's start this car up and see what it's like. So when I first got into this car, it took me about 5 minutes to find the ignition. But after a while, I realized that there's a really nice button right up here, start stop. Now you hit down the brake and you start the car. Now, as you can see here, we've got digital dashboard right in there, and we've got a really big screen, really nice infotainment system. Now, first things first, looking at the infotainment system, I can't say it's special. Maps on there is probably a bit better on the likes of BMW and Mercedes. Now, this car has a voice command option where you can press this button and ask the car to do certain things. Now, I'm going to press this button and demonstrate what it's like in terms of the quality of it.
To begin, say a command after the tone.
Navigate to 10 Downing Street. Yep.
Where would you like to navigate to? Please select a line.
Yeah, it's quite clearly not showing the right address. It's not showing me 10 Downing Street here. Now, in terms of the maps on the DS7, they're all right. I wouldn't say they're great. It is a bit laggy, I would say. Now, the problem with the whole infotainment system and the buttons down here with the DS7 is when you decide to turn the car off, you might still want to use the infotainment system. Now, you can press the button to turn it on, and you can use it. Now, however, the buttons which light up when the car is on just go, which means that you have to guess what the buttons are. So, you know, it's a guessing game. It's literally a guessing game. You know, you're guessing what the buttons are. I mean, here you don't even know what the buttons are. That's quite confusing. Now, since this car is a French car, it's originally designed as a left-hand drive car. So here in the UK, the buttons here on the left-hand side control everything on the dash, and everything on the right-hand side control the infotainment system. Now, that is a bit inconvenient, I would say, and it can get a bit confusing. This does mean that if you wanted to change the digital dash to something else, rather than having the full maps on there, you would have to use this button rather than the button on the right, which is what we're used to in the UK. So if you wanted to change this to, say, dials, it would change it from here to this. Now, another interesting and convenient feature on this car is it shows you the speed limit, which means that you don't have to check your sat nav to check what speed the road is, or if you forget, you know, it's always there for you. Yeah, it comes in handy, I'd say, definitely. Currently off-road, hence why it's not actually showing anything on there. Now, the majority of people use maps on their phones, and therefore Apple CarPlay and Android Auto comes in very handy in this car. Now, DS came up with a feature where you can protect your child using child lock in a more digital fashion. So you would activate it using this button in the bottom left of the screen, and that's it. Child lock is activated, and from here on, people in the back seat can't open the doors. Now, this can be deactivated really easily just by pulling the plug again, and there you go. Now, let's talk about the steering wheel of this car. I have to say, it looks like a sporty steering. I like the way there's a flat bit right here, which makes it, again, sporty. It reminds me a bit of the Audi S-Line steering wheels, the way it is flat, and then you get the circular steering here. Now, this steering also has flappy paddles. Now, flappy paddles is another sportier thing that is widely used in cars. However, I'm not really a big fan of this flappy paddle on this one. Now, let's pretend like you're driving in a countryside, okay? You're driving around the bend. Now you want to shift down. The problem with the flappy paddles is it stays in position. Now, the flappy paddles aren't connected to the steering wheel. They're connected to the thing holding the steering wheel, which means that when the steering wheel turns, the flappy paddles are in place, which is such an annoying thing in my opinion. But if you think otherwise, please let me know in the description. Now, this car has different driving modes, which means that if you're in a sporty settings, you can just place that in sports, and that changes the suspension, it changes the driving position, and it changes the steering. However, if you want to drive in a more eco environment where you're driving in the city, then you'd probably use the eco mode. And in the middle is the comfort mode, so that's just comfort. Now, I've driven this car around on the motorway for a couple of hours to see what it's like driving this car in terms of comfort for the driver himself and for passengers as well. And what I noticed is you feel so good just sitting on this seat. It's really smooth and it feels really nice, to be honest. Now, the seats on this DS Performance line is partly leather and partly suede. They are really comfortable seats to sit on, and they generally look really, really cool. Now, the driver's view is quite skewed, which means that you can't really see that much from the middle mirror. And comparing that with, let's say, the new Range Rover Evoque, you've got an option of having either the mirror or having a video, and you've got a camera that points into the back that provides you with a video right here that shows you, everyone behind you, which makes it so much clearer and so much nicer to look at than a normal mirror. And that works really well with cars that have really small windows. So yeah. Now, this is my comfortable position in the right seat setting. I'm going to jump into the back and check the space out for myself sitting in the seat right behind me, just to check the spacing in the back seat. So yeah. Now, I'm 6'4", which means that I struggle with headroom in most cars. However, in this one, I have to say, headroom is really, really good. I've got quite a lot of space in here. I feel really comfortable. Now, in terms of legroom, however, now it does feel a bit crammed in here, and I am tight for space. However, for an average person who's around 6 foot, you'll be more than fine in here. Now, as you get in most cars, you get a really nice air-conditioned bit here. You've got a little space that you can leave your phone in, and most importantly, we've got 2 little USB sockets in, which means that you can charge your phone on long journeys. Now, you've got a really flat surface there, which makes it really comfortable for the person sitting in the middle to put his feet in. Right, we'll be taking this car out for a drive, see what it's like to drive. It's quite big to drive around the country with this car. Let's pick up some speed, see how it goes from there. It's a bit loose around the corners, I would say, a bit wobbly. It is currently in comfort mode, so let's just change it to sports mode, see what that does. Now the car picks up in terms of speed. Steering gets a bit stiffer. It is very, very comfortable to drive. Steering is a bit stiffer, but it's not. It doesn't make that much of a difference. But you do feel the stiffness on the steering. You do feel it. Now, this car is really comfortable to drive in the country, I would say. So if you're a family looking to buy a car that looks nice, that feels premium, that drives like a premium car, I'd say this car is for you. However, sometimes around some bends, you will feel the difference between this or a proper SUV or a 4x4. It does feel a little bit wobbly, a little bit loose when you're going around, and you'd have to kind of slow down to fix up. Now, do I personally recommend this car? Do I recommend you buying this car? Now, this car starts at £28,000 in the UK, which means that it's basically a really nice chocolate bar sold with unbranded packaging. Hence the Peugeot Citroën badge on there. I think a lot of people will be put off that this car is made by Peugeot and Citroën, because people think that, you know, the French can't make really nice premium cars. However, I think it is a premium car. It is very nice, and I think that DS are getting there in terms of the quality and in terms of what they can offer.